Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
mean,
so it's good at that,
hmm
and
it's
so you throw on the emerge part and makes it potentially like really good.
yep.
Yeah.
So I think it has a place. You're not going to play this in green white or green red almost ever, probably. Actually, green red might do it because they have a lot of really expensive mana sinks.
Hmm.
So maybe green red
Yeah,
would
that's
want
true.
this.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're like really aggressive and you don't have
Yeah.
emerge, like you're probably not running it.
Yep.
But
I agree.
if you're at all defensive, like a delirium deck,
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, I think you definitely run it.
Yep.
Yeah. In Delirium deck, I think it's great.
I think I just want to call this a C.
Yep.
Um,
See.
Yeah, C plus.
good synergy, but bad in aggro. This is you're probably gonna pick this up like ninth pick, I'd guess.
Hmm.
Like 7th through ninth pick, be my guess. Next card, Shrill Howler, 2 and a green for a 3/1 Werewolf Horror. With creatures with power less than Shrill Howler's power, can't block it. Which is really cool, actually, because it means that the 1 toughness is not really a liability anymore. At
Yeah.
least for purposes of a combat.
Hmm.
So, I would play that even if it didn't transform. They've done a good job of that, by the way.
Yes.
A lot of these cards that transform are playable without the transform. And then when you do pay 6 to transform it turns into a 3/5 with the same ability. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you get to put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi Horror onto the battlefield. That isn't that good of an effect. It doesn't turn the card from good to broken because, if they have a 4/4 or 5/4 or 5/5, this isn't doing anything too good. But you still have a 3/5, right?
It makes them have to block.
And it does make them have to
Yes.
block or think about the threat that you're going to get value out of this.
Hmm.
So yeah, I like this card. What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, I think when you flip it, I think it's quite good. I mean, them having like a 4/4 bigger, yeah, maybe they emerge in Eldrazi. There's still only so many of those.
Mhm.
Like
Hmm.
most decks won't have access to really big creatures. So I think a lot of times it's just getting through, and in that case, it's really, really good.
Yep.
And then the front side's not bad.
Yeah.
So
Front side's definitely
yeah,
playable.
it's overall it's good. I think like C plus B minus.
Yeah, I think C plus B minus is about right. You're
Yeah.
probably gonna want to think about signing this out if your opponent has a lot of incidental pinging,
Pings, yeah.
but
I think that the 3/2 colorless Eldrazi you're making is probably worse than drawing a card a lot of time, but it's still gonna be fine. I think it's very good.
yep. Next, Somberwald Stag, 3 green for a 4/3 elk. We have an Elmer.
Hmm. It's
And
good
when
armor.
yes, when it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Well, this is a potential 2-for-1, but it's like not absurdly powerful. You can use it as a removal spell for 5
Yeah.
mana.
5 mana,
Like
deal
this
4.
compares very favorably to Reduce to Ashes and other cards like that.
Yeah.
Because you could just have it come in as a 4/3 and not fight anything, or you can attack with a 3/3 into a 7/7 and then chump attack and then play this to kill the 7/7, which isn't great for you, but it's still something that most 5 drops can't do.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this is very nice. I think this is a green signal, frankly. I like this at like B minus or B.
Yeah, I think it's B minus B.
Yep.
Like if it's like a 4/3 that just kills like I don't know, your opponent's 2/2 flyer when it comes into play is very good.
Yep, that's a good point. There's a lot of flyers that will just die to this thing. Oh man, the blowouts when your opponent plays that one thing that exile that Oblivion rings a spell, and you just play this and kill it,
Yeah.
and then you
Yes.
get your spell back. Oh, the 3-for-1. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, Spirit of the Hunt, a wolf spirit, which is a 3/3 with flash for 3 mana, 1 green. And when it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +0/+3 until end of turn. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's as much werewolf synergy in this set as there was in Shadows, but it's still there. There are plenty of wolves and werewolves around.
Hmm.
And it's a spirit, so incidentally, it might get some synergy if you're playing like green blue in a weird build or like green white, perhaps. But even if it's a flash 3/3 for 3, it's very playable. And the ability is just gravy. So I think this is like a B minus or B.
Yeah, it's really close. I have
The
B minus.
ceiling on this card is not super high. Like, you're very rarely going to blow someone out with this.
The floor is pretty high though too. So
The floor is also really high, though.
Yeah, trained Armadon
Like-
with flash is quite nice.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
know.
can get, you can just ambush a creature and get a 3/3 for 3. So it's pretty good.
The only problem is double green mana cost, really. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
cool. Next, Splendid Reclamation. Are you ever going to play this in limited? 3 and a green
Oh,
for a
I
sorcery.
don't know what it does,
Yeah.
but I have
Oh,
an F.
sorry. 3 mana and a green for sorcery with return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Yeah, I have it as an F. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it doesn't.
like
This doesn't.
I
constructed
can't
type
unless you were playing the Gitrog monster and
What are you
else
doing
would
with all the
you have
mana?
play?
I can't think what you're doing with all the mana.
Emrakul?
There's a lot
Question
of
mark?
mana
Question mark?
sinks.
Question
A lot
mark?
of mana sinks, but
No,
you
this
know.
is just an F. I'm trying to work too hard to make this maybe playable, and
No.
I would
In
probably
constructed
rather have a
maybe-
basic land.
I don't know. Do you guys have ideas for this card in constructed? This is really cool effect.
This
Yeah,
is
I
a
have it.
very cool card effect in constructed, dude. This is awesome in constructed, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Limited.
not- yeah. Maybe there's going to be a Valakut deck which just self mills till it has like 10 cards in library, and then use Splendid Reclamation. Boom.
New scape shift.
Yeah. Well, no. Someone was saying you play Treasure Hunt, this, and Valakut, and like
Yeah.
a shit ton of mountains.
You play this in the zombie hunt deck, except you also have this. Also
Yeah.
splash.
Well, not even also have this. It's just a different deck, right? At that point, because you don't want to, like, well, actually, maybe it would work, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, we can just call that an F and make no comment because it's just bad. Spring Sage Ritual, 3 and a green for an instant. Oh, this is just sideboard.
Yeah.
Decent sideboard, but sideboard nonetheless.
Yeah.
What's the biggest blowout you can think of with this card? Maybe that white
Always
Oblivion Ring
watching-
+2/+2. enchantment?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, that's always gonna lead to the biggest blowouts. Though I like that card quite a bit. What did you?
Yeah, what did I rate that card? That's a good question.
I hate the card, but I think it's actually just gonna be really good a lot of the time.
I remember saying that it was like a really swingy card.
Oh yeah.
Shit, what do you remember the name?
Oh, it's like Faith something.
Faith's
Faith Unbroken.
Faith Unbroken. I rated it a B minus.
Yeah, I currently have it at B.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Because
I'm just gonna lose that card so often.
yep, I'm gonna lose by playing it and having it being played against
Exactly.
me. So,
Like you have to play it.
Yep.
I hate those cards. Like they force you to play it, yet you're just gonna get blown out. But like
Yeah.
it's like ordeals. Like you can't
oh
just
god.
not play.
Well, the ordeals were like legit kind of good though.
I think this is on par with that. It's
Yeah.
just like they either remove your creature or you probably win.
Yeah. Yep. True. All right. Next, this is a French vanilla creature at 3 and a green for a 2/3 flash reach. It's pretty good.
Sentinels of Glenelendra, kind of.
Like fantastic from the board, but I could see even main decking this. It all depends on how good you think flash is, really, and how big you think your opponent's creatures are going to be, and how much you care about X2s.
For 4 mana,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
4 mana is a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a sideboard card pretty much.
It's
like
probably
if
mostly
they
a
have
sideboard card.
like small flying creatures, then yeah, totally. But if they don't, like it's just too overcosted. Like Penumbra Spider costs 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have Giant Spider. Well, I mean, if you compare this to Giant Spider, which is a 2/4 for 4, like it doesn't compare that.
4
advantage.
toughness is way better.
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
agree.
a big for 4 mana.
I agree, but like the
There's so
flash
many
is not
2/3s
nothing.
for 3 mana in this format. Like
Yeah.
you're paying a whole extra mana for the flash.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
don't think that the format, the flash on the reach blocker is actually that relevant because you really with your giant spider you're holding off flyers anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that you're eating one doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
DeFruge says flash block into emerge. Ooh, that is kind of spicy.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I got
either way,
C minus.
I'm gonna give it a sideboard rating. Next, Tangle Claw Werewolf. 2 green for a 2/4 that can block an additional creature each combat. If that's all it said, I wouldn't play this, even though it's a werewolf. But it does have synergy with the emerge creatures because this is the kind of thing that you want in those decks. It holds off the ground decently, and then you sack it. But let's see what it transforms into. For 7 mana, you can flip it into a 4/6 Vigilance, which must be blocked if able, and can do the same thing as it used to, block an additional creature each combat.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough reward for paying 7 mana?
It doesn't feel like it to me.
Doesn't feel like it to me either.
Yeah, I think it is. I think this card is just unstoppable once it's out.
I mean, once it's
Like,
split,
it just
Well, it can be gang,
how do they
gang blocked,
block
though.
it? I mean, you have
Put
mana
2
up,
3/3s in
right?
front of it. Yeah.
Like,
I
if
mean,
you have mana
with
up, you
tricks,
just
this gets a
attack.
lot better.
Must be blocked if able. Yeah, so they have to block each turn, and it just blocks, like, your opponent can't attack on the ground.
True.
So I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah.
like
it's,
compared to with Shrill Howler, I'm slightly less happy with this. I think.
I think the real test for this card, like, obviously when it flips, it's really good. Like, the stats on the reverse side are fantastic. The question is, does a 2/4 for 4 cut the mustard in this format? Because I don't think they can block an additional creature as a 2/4 does that much.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is good.
that doesn't, but it buys you time to flip it. I think.
It's true.
So I think like 2/4 on a creature that turns into a large creature, like it'll
But-
just buy you the time to flip it. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
better than an average like 2/5 for 4 type mana.
Definitely. I would... Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. I think whether you play this depends on how many other good mana sinks you have. Because I think this is fine as a mana sink. But if I have a bunch of things that, flip for 6 mana or 5 mana or 7 mana, I don't think this is very high on that list, frankly. But I don't know. What is your opinion on that?
So my opinion. So I'm just looking at this in comparison with the Shrill Howler because that's a 3 mana card. This is a 4 mana card, and it flips for 6 versus flip for 7.
Which one are we talking about? Oh,
Shrill Howler. The flipper.
What does that turn into again?
It
That
turns
turns
into
into a
Howling
3/5.
Course, the 3/5 that,
So this
never
turns into a
for
3/5.
6.
This turns into a 4/6. This seems like I'm paying 1 extra mana, and at each level it's like just
Yeah.
comparable, and I'm paying 1 extra mana on each
I
level.
kind of
also.
like the face side of Shrill Howler better, though.
Right, that's the thing, right? I think that Shrill Howler just compares very favorably to Tingle Claw Werewolf, because on the flip side of Tingle Claw, it's pretty comparable.
It costs 1 more, which is like a turn later,
Yeah.
or maybe 2 turns later.
It's a turn later, and like the thing is, Tingle Claw Werewolf buys you the time to get to 7, while Shrill Howler really doesn't. Shrill Howler's 3/1. You can block with a 3/1, but it's not buying you time the way Tingle Claw is. But
Yeah, I think that actually is a big piece, though. I think like the 3/1 just gets traded off a lot more easily, where the werewolf is going to sit and play, slow the game down, and then you get to flip it.
Does
for
it
7.
trade off easily, though? It can't be blocked by creatures with less power?
I mean, it gets like pinged for 1 damage, or like, well, you're
Against
just
some
gonna
deck, sure.
sit with it there for. I guess
it
maybe you're just
trades
attacking
against
for
3/3s.
every turn. But like, yeah, there's a lot of 3/2s in the format.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
true.
can just like sit there for a while until turn 6 you flip it. You're also paying 6 flipping a 1 toughness creature, so
Yeah.
it could be like pinged in response or something.
I'm
That's true,
definitely
that's true,
I'm
that's
definitely turning around on this card. I don't think it's like high, like a super high quality card, but I'd call it like a C plus B minus maybe.
I don't
It
think
seems-
it's C plus more than B.
I think it's close to Shrill Howler.
Yeah, I had Howler at C+, and I have this at B-.
Okay.
But it also kind of goes to my playstyle, too. Like, I
Mm.
prefer to just kind of, like, lock the game down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that does tend to be like if you're playing like a slower Delirium deck, obviously this spec is better
Mhm.
because it's stupid.
UT has a really good point. One good comparison lately is Graft Mole.
Mhm.
Even without the value gained life from sacking clues, it was still probably playable at 4 mana if it needed to be.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
That's true.
And this is pretty good upside, so yeah, I'm comfortable calling it C plus B minus. Comparable to Shrill Howler. Anyways, let's keep going. We are on Ulvenwald Captive, another one of these transform creatures. This is like the mythic common, right?
Yeah.
1 and a green for a 1/2 defender, which can tap to make mana. And you could pay 7 to transform it, and it turns into a 4/6, which ramps you even more to get you to cast that Emrakul, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is really good. Like, early game, it gets you a mana ahead.
Mhm.
It could also block 1/1s, which, whatever. That's not super relevant. Or it can trade against, like, a 3/1 or something. And then it flips into a 4/6 late game, which is very relevant body. So, plus you can
Yep.
tap to